Good evening. I hope that you guys have gotten into your class, have gotten in and looked at your syllabus, looked at your course calendar, and I hope that if you have your book that you've kind of started to look through it. If not, I know the book will be in shortly, should be by tomorrow at the latest. But I just wanted to kind of cover a few of the main points with you all that I wanted you to get from the chapter. So, the beginning of the chapter starts out with a brief history. This is fascinating, you all. As I was reading it, I thought, this is why I got into hospitality. For this right here, it's just fascinating how it all came along. So I want you guys to read that and kind of get a background knowledge of where hospitality came from and where it originated. And then also there's a concept in the book, total quality management. It addresses it in the first half of the chapter and really goes into some detail in the second half of the chapter. But it is basically the concept that everybody is responsible for customer or guest satisfaction. So it doesn't matter if you're the general manager, it doesn't matter if you are a waiter, if you are the person who cleans the tables or washes the dishes, if you are the housekeeper in the hotel, you are responsible for making your guest feel appreciated and solving any problems that they have. And so that concept is a really important concept to grasp for the hospitality industry. Also, throughout the whole chapter, it talks about why service is so important to hospitality. Service is really what hospitality is built on. When you join this industry, you are there to serve people. You're there to make their experience better. You don't want them just to have a meal at your restaurant. You want them to have an experience. You don't want them just to have an stay at your hotel. You want them to have a wonderful experience and to tell people about it. You don't want them to come to your music park and just hate it and go home and tell people not to come. You want them to have a great experience. And so that total quality management and how everybody is involved in guest satisfaction is very important. So hone in on that. Total and just service in general. Also in here, it talks about Marriott International quite a bit. J.W. Marriott, he was wonderful in building the hospitality industry. He started off with a small hot dog stand, and he's built it into this global industry that we have today, known as Marriott International. So there's several highlights on him. Go ahead and read him. Read about the Marriott way. For you hotel people or people who think you want hotels, that is used quite a lot in Marriott and other chains. Also, we talk about the pineapple. You see the pineapple a lot in hospitality magazines and books. It's on hotels. It's, people think it's kind of hokey, but we actually have a tradition and a reason for having the pineapple. It's called the pineapple tradition, and it's all about how hospitality through the ages, how the pineapple has kind of grown into this symbol of hospitality. And so I want you guys to kind of know about the pineapple tradition just because it's a neat, cool fact about our industry. There is a technology spotlight that I want you guys to pay attention to. Technology is infiltrating everything that we do. And so there's a whole section on technology and how it's used in the industry. Pay attention to that. You'll see it again on the quizzes and the test. There's also a concept that's talked about in the chapter called moments of truth. And it uses the example of a guest going to a restaurant. And so there are so many moments of truth in an experience, such as going to a restaurant. There's the guest calls for a reservation. The guest tries to find the restaurant. They can't. The guest parks. The guest is welcomed. The guest is told their table isn't ready. The guest waits in the lounge. The guest can't get an additional cocktail because he can't get a hold of the bartender because there's no seats at the lounge. The guest is paged. The guest is seated and orders. His food arrives. The server clears the table, brings the check. the guest pays and leaves. So moments of truth are anything that the guest experience. The whole total guest experience is one big moment of truth broken down into small experiences. So we always try to make good or great moments of truth, because those moments of truth, what the guest goes and tells their friends, their families, their co-workers, that is what we rely on to get additional service, additional people into the hotel, the restaurant, the movie theater, whatever, is those total the total moments of truth. One other thing that they really talk about, and I'm sorry, I haven't figured out how to do this except for with my phone, but one other concept they talk about is the Disney approach to guest service, where everything is about guest, not customers. It's all guest and guest related. Their main tagline is, "We create happiness." So people don't come here happy, they don't leave happy, we create happiness. And if any of you all have ever been to Disney, you know that this is true. They create magic, they create happiness, and Disney has spent a long time doing mystery shoppers, doing guest satisfaction surveys, and so they have figured out some really good ways to make their guests happy and satisfied. The three things that they really hit on are interpersonal relationship building skills, so making sure that their employees, or cast of characters, not employees, making sure that they are able to interact with the guest, and that they are very personable, and that they aren't going to be rude or crude or standoffish to the guests, that they get them involved and create their happiness. Communication and friendliness. Those are three of the, if you can remember those three things: interpersonal relationship building skills, communication, and friendliness, you're going to have a great career in hospitality, because it's all about being approachable, being friendly. It is all about making sure that that guest has a good satisfaction guaranteed experience. That's what you're doing. Then the chapter goes on to talk about career paths and all the different career paths that there are in the hospitality industry. I told a student today that she asked what her career options were in hospitality, and I said, if you dream it, you can achieve it. Because there are so many different directions you can go. You can go into the military, the hospital, you can go to hotels, restaurants, you can run things like the Olympics, you can run tourist sites for cities, camps for kids. There are so many options that you have. So think about career paths. Think about where you want to be in a year, where you want to be in 5 years, where you want to be in 10 years, I always thought that I was going to be a general manager of a hotel, and I was on track to do that, and the economy kind of slumped, and I wound up at Western, and here I am teaching you guys, and I'm so excited to be able to teach students who are going to go out into the industry that I love and make it better, and I'm super excited about that. But that's a career option as well. It's teaching, because we always need good teachers to make good leaders. One other thing that they really want you to start thinking about is the hospitality industry right for you? It's an industry that's ever changing. It's an industry that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't care if it's a holiday. There are really good sides of the hospitality industry, and then there are some drawbacks. And knowing that it is open all the time is definitely a drawback and something you should consider. Get involved. Join a club, join an organization, job shadow, get a job. One of the best things I ever did was I got a job at the Courtyard by Marriott here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and it was wonderful. Some of the best experiences and some of the best lessons I ever learned were at that hotel. And just some trends that they want you guys to know about. And we'll delve into these a little bit more as the semester goes on. But some of the big trends for hospitality is globalization. The world is getting smaller. Things are always interconnected, and things that used to seem really far away, really big, are really short and really close. Health, safety, and security. I mean, we live in a crazy world, and if you've watched the news, you know of some of the crazy things that go on. And so one of the big trends with hospitality is making sure that our guests are safe, making sure that our employees are safe, making sure that things are secure, and that when guests come to our organizations, they can feel safe in knowing that we've done what we can do to make them safe. Diversity and changing demographics. There's always diversity, especially in the hospitality industry, and things are ever changing. The only thing that stays the same is that there's always change. Service, again, we are always looking for ways to make your service experience better. We are always looking for ways to make things run smoother and more efficient. Technology, again, plays a huge role in today's hospitality industry, down to locks that go on hotel room doors, down to credit card machines that slide, to pay for food and beverages and all that. So technology is a really ever-changing facet of the industry, and it's something that is just we're going to see more of. Sustainability and green tourism, that's really popular right now, and we have a whole section dedicated to that when we get to the tourism chapter. But we're going to talk about sustainable tourism and green tourism, and those are really popular right now. Ecotourism. And then legal issues in the hospitality industry. There's always a myriad of legal issues that you will run into with the hospitality industry. Who you can and can't dispense information to, who you can and can't serve, who you can and can't tell the police information about, all kinds of stuff. And so legal issues, there's always legal issues going on with the hospitality industry, but that's just the nature of it. And so those are some things that we're going to hit on in the next chapters, but those were the overarching things that I really wanted you to get from this first chapter. Be able to recognize words like back of the house, corporate philosophy, empowerment, front of the house, guest satisfaction, perishability, return on investment, intangible, inseparability, tourism, variability. Be familiar with those words. Get to know those words. They are all words that are used in the chapter. If you really want, once you read the chapter, if you still are having some issues, the summary on page 46 does a good job of summing up the chapter. Again, if you have any questions or concerns about the chapter, about the class, about the industry, I will be more than glad to talk with you. So feel free to shoot me an email, give me a call, and we'll get something together. Again, I just want to let you guys know that I look forward to getting to know you all, and that's really all I needed you to know about the first chapter. I'll be back in touch. Bye.